Hi everyone, this is Big Benedict. This is my Ninja Gaiden 2 Master Ninja difficulty video guide walkthrough. I'm not going to be playing on New Game Plus, and I have the Tribal Spirits costume unlocked, meaning that I've cleared the game on Master Ninja before. That's another reason why you won't see the achievement pop up at the end of the guide. As many of you know, I did a Master Ninja difficulty walkthrough a few months ago, and it's on this channel. There's 14 videos, all corresponding to the number of chapters in this game. But I'm coming back to this game because it's a game that makes me happy, and the more I play it, the happier I am. And I wanted to do the Test of Valor. Now, in my first guide that I did for this game, I did at most like 4, maybe 3 of the Tests of Valor, just because I didn't have enough monetary resources at the time, the essence, that is, and it was just my first playthrough of the game on Master Ninja mode. I collected all the items, as I will be doing in this guide, save for the crystal skulls that don't repopulate on the map. But and also some parts I wasn't satisfied with in my guide. One of which that stands to mind immediately. It always just makes me wish that I had done it differently. The Chapter 11 fight, that huge endurance fight that starts Chapter 11 right after you clear Chapter 11 and defeat Elizabeth. I fled from that, and I wasn't proud of myself, and I was proud of my guide overall, but I wasn't proud of that. So I'm not going to be fleeing from any battles. I'm not going to be unspawning any enemies. I'm going to be using UTs, but only at a very, very bare minimum. So also the Test of Valor, I'll be doing all those, and I'll also be isolating that footage and making it its own video, and then putting all the Tests of Valor in their own playlists. All the Tests of Valor, they'll still be in the normal video for the chapters, even if it has to be an hour and a half or 2 hours for the video length, because I don't like to cut the videos into parts. But I did want to isolate that footage and make it easy for people to find the Test of Valor when they search for YouTube. Anyway, so that's mainly what I wanted to cover, and I didn't want to make this introduction overly long because I'll be talking about the game throughout the guide. But first of all, let's talk about this battle that we have at the very beginning of the game versus these IS ninjas. This is a fight that a lot of people just give up on because it's a very hard part in the very beginning of the game, and it draws people off and makes them not want to play the game. And it's sad because it's the first fight of the game, and you just need to do some strategies that I'm going to discuss. So let's get right into the thick of things here versus these IS ninjas. Okay, the IS ninjas. These guys are going to spam incendiary shurikens at you the entire game, so you need to know how to nullify the damage that you would incur from getting stuck by them and then having the thing detonate while it's on you. When multiple of these guys throws the daggers at you and they explode, you can almost be at the point where you're dead. So the best and quickest way to get out of that, cancel out the incendiary shuriken, is to go up to one of the enemies and guillotine throw. You wouldn't think it would work, that particular action alone, but it does. Same goes for doing an OT, an obliteration technique, on a de-limbed enemy. So if you're ever stuck with them, guillotine throw them, or if you just want to do it really quickly, go up to them and press the Y button to execute any of them who are de-limbed, because a lot of the times you're facing so many enemies at once that there's a really good chance that somewhere around you is somebody who's dripping blood because he's missing a limb. So in this scenario up here, we have, even though you can't see the other two, we have 5 incendiary shuriken ninjas facing us. There's 2 right in front of us, and then you can see the claw of another one on the bottom right above where my watermark is. It says Big Benedict Productions. There's also 2 other ones. They're off screen, but you're going to have to face 5 at once. So you have a couple options here, and you could do a lot of things, but when I look at a situation like this, and that's why I put it in pause right now, when I look at this, I think to myself, I could probably evade to the right and grab that guy whose claw that is visible right there and guillotine throw him. But what happens then is that you just end up throwing him against the fence posts, and that won't put him into OT status. Really good tip on these guys. get like near a wall and then guillotine throw them into the wall. That will 99% of the time, you know, unless they don't make contact with the wall, that will pretty much always put them into OT status, and then it's just your job to press the Y button and then to take them out. It's very quick and efficient. It's a great way. So to get closer to Maramasa's shop, and his shop is a wall, so we're going to be flinging these guys. What I like to do is target the guy who's at had about the 2 o'clock position by the barrels up there. I like to transition a flying swallow from a wind run. I like to transition that into a flying swallow to get that guy to possibly get a beheading. Sometimes you'll get a beheading, sometimes you won't. It's luck based because the game's not always going to give you a beheading. And that's what I do in this next piece of footage. So let's roll the footage and start the guide. Okay, from a wind run, I did a flying swallow there. I didn't get the execution, but now, like I said in the beginning, in the prologue for this guide, I'm throwing guys against the walls and then getting them into OT status and pressing Y. You can't just keep your guard up because the incendiary shurikens are going to come through your guard. These guys are going to grab you through your guard, so you can't just block. Parrying's a good. That attacks. Yeah, parried that guy with the X button. That was good. So that battle's over. Now we're going to the save point. Save frequently. Save whenever you need to. Save whenever you've done particularly well and you don't want to lose your progress. Over here we have, I think we have 2 or 3 archers and a couple of gray ninjas. These guys will all charge at you, and I play very passively over here, but it's just because I want to get really good at parrying, and you should too. So I'm just standing over here. I know they're all going to come to me. Now, if you want to, you could charge UTs over here, but that's a little bit too cheap for where my skill level resides. So I'm just standing over here waiting for the 3rd guy to arrive. I have my back to him just because I could see well enough. Now I'm waiting for the 4th guy to arrive. He'll come up presently, and I did the Y attack, the Y parry. Sundered him, cut him right in half. Now we're going down here to the next battle. We have a lot of gray ninjas, and I wouldn't fault you if you wanted to loosen these guys up with a UT, but I wanted to challenge myself a bit more. So right there, I did the XXY move that put that guy into OT status. The wind path works pretty well too, as does there's a good combo called the. I think it's called the Piercing Something Dragon's Fang. It is by doing the X button 5 times in a row. Right there, you saw I got a couple of beheadings. That was because I held the Y button down, but I didn't release it. I didn't release to get the charge. That move right there is unblockable, but as you saw right there, it's not unparryable. So that was the X times 5 move right there. Notice how I jumped and then threw shurikens right there to give myself a little safety. I like to hug the wall right here, do a wall run, and then evade, then guillotine throw. You can do a lot more guillotine throws than I do here, but I didn't really want to abuse the system, even though I'm getting, you know, it's an unfair match over here, but it's a challenge. So I got a launcher parry right there via the Y button. So now I'm sundering limbs. I'm kind of distancing myself from the enemies. I'm going in for UTs, or excuse me, I'm going in for OTs. I did a shuriken cancel right there, and I did a blind flying swallow at somebody off screen. But since I auto targeted him with the wind run, and then transitioned that into a flying swallow, it targeted for me. So I didn't even have to know where he was. So now another battle with all gray ninjas down here. You could do the wind path. That gives you iframes as well. There's another one of those holding the Y button down but not doing a charge. So you see right there, one hit with the Y button delimbed enemies. So don't underestimate the Dragon Sword, even at level 1. Imagine at level 3 it's going to really be beneficial to us. So always keep your guard up, always be evasive, but don't get too complacent with your guards, because these guys are going to grab right through your guard. Right now I'm trying to hit him with standard attacks so I can possibly get some blue orbs, a blue essence drop. Doing a OT, a UT, or an ET will never give you blue essence. You only get blue essence from doing standard kills, an Azuna drop or something like that. Any kind of technique won't give you blue orbs. Casting Nimpo will give you blue orbs from time to time. Your chances definitely are increased by casting Nimpo of getting a blue essence drop. You get the most money from UTs, obviously, but I'm dedicating myself to an honest playthrough of this game. I'm not going to spam UTs. So now we're getting the Inferno. You also notice that I didn't get the Nimpo orbs or the blue essence orbs in the boxes over there. Also, try not to use too many items. Up until the point where I get to the Lunar, I'm not going to be using any items. Right now I like to do the Flying Swallow, get a couple of guys cut in half right there, stand down here, and got grabbed. That happens. Throw guys into the walls. Right now I'm trying to get some blue essence. This guy, I'm doing a standard kill. See if I can get some blue essence. You don't always get blue essence, and the blue essence, there we go. Those essence drops aren't as liberal as they probably should be. So here I'm running against the screen, and now we have some archers, 2 archers across the way, and this one guy. I like to come down here for the rest of the battles, just because there's nice walls all around that I could throw enemies at. But from now I'm just going to do my there we go, my parries. I love doing the counter attacks. They're very they're fun to do and they're rewarding, but there is a little bit of risk if you can't get it to connect and you get your timing incorrectly. So this is, I think, that the last archer. So I took a couple hits right there. Got an X parry. Now I'm trying to cut him in half, but I didn't get any blue essence. You don't always get blue essence. So I think there's one more guy left. And I'm also going to be doing the same thing for when I spawn the IS ninjas. I just prefer to. I just like this place down here. It has a lot of. It has a nice bunch of places to work with against those walls. So do your wall run and then fall back right here. Making contact with the other side of that is going to spawn these guys. So just jump down here and they're going to start coming. So remember to start guillotine, throw them into the walls. And I even let loose a couple of, maybe just one Inferno. But as you can see, not every one of your guillotine throws are going to connect. It's not really going to be your fault. Nice to get an Impo drop right there. But there's a lot of these guys, so once the first batch is over, we're going to get some more. There we go, there's a couple more guys. There's not as many as you might fear. There's probably about 8 of these guys, but as you can see, I'm just throwing them into the wall. Getting all the iframes I need to deal with this situation, not resorting to using any of my items. Yeah, that's a damn bad grab right there. Sundered a limb with one hit, now we're going. I've got some blue essence, but I don't need it since there's going to be a save point coming up. So now I did use some Nimpo, but I didn't use the healing item that I got. So try your best to not use that because there's a save point right up here that's going to refill our health. Okay, up ahead we have a lot of IS ninjas and a mage. So if you want to, what I would advise is go ahead and use your Nimpo if you haven't gotten the chest earlier in the map, because you can go back anywhere you want to and get whatever you've left behind or saved up. So here I'm just doing the tried and true method of guillotine throwing. The mages don't have much HP, but they're very deadly and they have as much range as they want with their magic attacks, so you gotta be really careful. But what I like to do over here is I'm going to use most or all of my Nimpo, and then go back to the chest that had the Nimpo orbs, and then use it to deal with the archers on the in the next section, who are very, very unfairly placed. But if you want to, here's what I would do. I would unspawn the archers if I were you. But since I'm not going to be leaving any head unsevered in my guide, I'm going to be facing all the guys. Now, if that means I have to use Nimpo, so be it. But I think on this level they're so unfairly placed that it's almost like an act of cruelty on the game's part. And I'll show you where it is, but now if this was New Game Plus, we could use the bow and arrow, or we could use a scythe or something to charge an attack, or we could use a windmill shuriken, but this is not New Game Plus. Playing on that mode won't be helping anybody, so I want to try to help as many people as I can. I like to fall down here now, and I like to fall down here because I can start guillotine throwing, and also if you stay up there, you're going to get tagged by the incendiary shuriken. So go ahead, freely use your Nimpo if you've been following my own usages of the Nimpo, because in a moment you're going to see my Nimpo refill, because I'm going to go back and get not only the Nimpo orbs, but the health orbs from the very beginning of this level and save it. And then we're going to be moving on to the next section. So once I get up here, you're going to notice that I have my key gauge filled. That's because I went back and picked up the Nimpo orbs that I hadn't used, or rather that I hadn't got so far. Now I'm going to go over here to this canoe over here. You want to manipulate this chest until it gives you the money. So it's about $1,000. And next we're going to be coming up on the fight before we get to the save point. So it's very unfair, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because of the archers. There's 3 of them. There's 2 or 3 of them up here. These guys spawn indefinitely, so if you want to take advantage of that and make some money, you can. There's also another point where I'll be mentioning that the enemies never stop spawning. I'm getting some iframes over here by doing OTs. I'm now going to use the Nimpo. Looks like it took care of all the guys up here. There's normally 3 guys, and I'm not sure. There may have been fewer guys that time, but so I would highly advise you, because look at this situation here. It's not fair. You've got the guys with the bow and arrows on the other side. It's completely unfair. So if I were you, I would unspawn those guys by running back, and they will disappear if you go back far enough, as will the next set of 3 guys. But I just wanted to make this on my guide just reflect the fact that I killed these guys. So you could probably, if you wanted to target the guy in the middle, he would probably inflame the other guys. So I got an Nimpo drop right there, and then I catch the Nimpo because I was very mad at that whole situation. But now we're going to go over and save it, get our life back, and now we're going to be dealing with some IS ninjas below the bridge. These guys spawn indefinitely too. If you want to grind for money on these guys, feel free to. Normally the guy will... I tried to parry the attack, but I got grabbed. It's a very bad grab. Basically, you just want to guillotine all of the IS ninjas into the walls. And since we just got filled up at the save fountain, we're going to... it's ideal that any damage we incur here, we're going to just get it back from the chest of blue orbs. So long as you're not taking a huge amount of damage over here, you can pretty much do this fight, just take some damage, and then refill your health with the orbs in the chest, and also get the second life of the gods in this stage. So see how much life I have now. I was trying to get a blue orb drop, but I didn't. So my health regenerated right there, and now I'm just going to pick up the chest that has the blue orbs to just refill my health. So I did that entire fight. I got the life of the gods, and I got all my money essence for those kills, and I didn't take any single damage, not in totality anyway. So now we're going to head back to the save point. And there is a chest that you can manipulate up here once again. I really dislike the fact that some of these chests have bats and stuff like that, but when they do have ghost fish, some of them can be manipulated further by doing UTs and getting more money, so it's actually preferable to get the ghost fish, but not the bats, unless you're trying to get a Nimpo drop or something. So go over here, manipulate it until you get your money, and then we're going to be taking on this next fight, which is Grey Ninjas, and I think just one Nimpo Ninja, the mage. So I like to at least try to get a beheading, because the mage spawns right there every single time. So it looks like I got the beheading, got the nice blood squirting effect, and now we're just doing the guillotine throw. It looks like there's a couple of mages, my mistake, but it's very crucial to not use any items on this stage. I will have gotten to the final boss, or the boss of this level, without having used any of the items that I picked up, namely the two small healing items, and then the grains of spiritual life, and also there is a box with a devil way mushroom. So there's four. I think there's 4 items. You know, that's not to say I wasn't using like blue orbs. I wasn't. I was using those. I'm talking about the items that they stack into your inventory, not the orb chests. But you see here, I didn't take very much damage here, and once the save point is accessible after we get the lunar, I had almost a full bar of life, and it was completely pointless to go to the save point. That particular one. So the couple guys left. I didn't really know how many there were rather. But what I was saying a minute ago is you could use any save statue that you want. Since these two save statues are in very close proximity to one another, and if you have about as much health as I do, this guy snuck up on me right here. I knew someone was coming and he hit me. But if you have about as much health as I do, there's no point in healing at that save statue when you could just go to the other one that's right on the other side where we came from, and just save your data, and then later on come to it and heal yourself and save it. I'll show you how to do that. So this might be the last guy right here. I did a UT right there. UTs are just part of the game, and I'm going to be doing them, but I'm not going to be spamming them. So I'm going to grab the lunar over here, and I think since I had some Nimpo, yeah, I have one Nimpo in my key gauge, so I'm not going to pick up the Nimpo orbs in the chest right now. And I'm also not going. I saw no purpose of using that save statue because you have to heal before you save. So I'm going to go back over here now and save it, and then I'm going to do the next couple of fights, and then when I need health, I'll go to the other save statue. So the next fight up here is against some more Grey Ninjas and mages. So you see how these two save statues are very close to one another. And also, if you have one Nimpo in your key gauge, there's no point of opening that chest until you exhaust all your uses of the magic. So these guys spawn about right here. I like to fall back and then do a flying swallow. Since we haven't been able to visit Miramasa yet, we can't upgrade any weapons. But I will get into what you should be upgrading. So this is a pretty tough fight for me. That is, I'm not really sure why this fight's tough for me. You're going to have fights that just challenge you for some reason. I'm not really sure why this fight always challenges me. But I'm kind of using flying swallows quite a bit, using counter attacks and just obliterating enemies with the OTs when I see that there's some. So we got a couple more mages, and I'm going to use the Nimpo to at least get one of these guys out of the way. I saw some health orbs on top of the bridge, so I'm going to try to get up there as quick as I can to give me a little bit more health. Another health orb right there. And yeah, this battle took a lot of my health off, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the battle, then I'm going to go back to the save statue that I haven't used the heal feature on, heal myself completely, take full advantage of that, and then go to the next fight. So, did a triangle parry right there, get an OT, try to do an OT. Okay, so you're not actually going to, I'm just going to press forward, but I will have gone back to the save point, and also I will have gone, so in a moment you'll see my health get all the way back and all my key gauge maxed out, because I got the box of orbs nearby the save statue. So I just didn't see any reason to put all that footage in here when I could just edit it together. So smash all these chests here. Here is the grains of spiritual life that you get on this level. So you see how my, okay, so, oh no, I decided to go to the save point after I did this fight. all you have here is gray ninjas, so they're pretty aggressive though, so you got to really be careful. And right there, I'm just, whenever you see me just continually tap on the X button when they're in OT status, that's because I don't want to OT them. I want to try to do a standard kill on them and get a blue orb. So you see I'm trying to get a blue orb right here. It doesn't always happen. Up here, if you get the treasure box first, then you could engage in these guys. What I was experiencing was I was going up to the partition, the hittable partition there, and then before I would get the treasure chest, and then these guys wouldn't appear. So if you do want to avoid them, go up to the blinds first. I don't know if that's a rule of thumb, but I'm not sure. But that's what happened to me every time. So now we just have a couple of IS ninjas out here, so they're going to spawn once you get to the porch here. So just fall back and then kind of wait for them to come in. It didn't connect with that guillotine throw, but did with that one. And then this guy got stuck over here. So there's only 2 IS ninjas right here. I was waiting for the guy to come in here so I could throw him against the wall, but he got stuck against the porch right there. Make sure you go back and save it before you fall down the shaft right there, the well, and make sure you also make upgrades to your weapons as you want to. I personally bought the Dragon Sword upgrade to level 2 as well as the Lunar Staff. So if you want to follow in what I'm doing, I'm going to equip the Lunar here and do Y attacks to dispatch the bats. And now I'm going to switch back to the Dragon Sword, and we have 2 archers, one of whom will run at you right away. And I like to charge attacks over here because the likelihood that you can get hit by one of their flaming arrows is not exceedingly high, but you can still get hit by it, and I don't like to take any damage when I don't have to. So the next thing we have on this map is a treasure box down below, and it's either going to give you ghost fish or money. So I got the money right here, I believe. No, I got the ghost fish. I did the Azuna drop combo there to take care of all of them. And next we're going to get the second herb of spiritual life over here. And the next fight after that, what I'm inclined to do is not use any items, but I like to use some Nimpo if I need to. So there's no going back. After you fall down the well, there's no going back. So the mages are going to appear right in front of you. So try to get some beheadings on these guys. It's very crucial to do so. So I don't think there's I think there's a melee ninja over here, an IS ninja. But here I'm sundering limbs. I have the Azuna drop ability now since I upgraded to level 2. There may not be any IS ninjas over here. My mistake. So I'm kind of just relying on. I'm pressing the X and A button to do the wind run, and then I'm pressing the Y button to do the flying swallow attack to auto aim at whomever I can, parrying when I have the ability to do so. And as you can see, the mages don't have very much HP, but they're very deadly, so you need to get them off the map as quick as possible. Okay, so we took care of those guys. The reason I cast Nimpo right there is because I thought I had 3 in my slot in my key gauge, so I didn't want to have any go to waste. But in the heat of battle, it's pretty. It's hard to second guess yourself here. But now we have some IS ninjas, and since I saved my data before I even jumped down the well, I was disposed to not use any healing items. Although it got pretty. It got pretty dangerous over here because I had very little life, but I had confidence in the fact that I knew that I could just throw these guys into either the glass or the wall, and I could parry like that right there. So that's it for that, and looks like, yeah, that's all done. Now smash that to get orbs and save it. Okay, so when you open this door right here, you want to dash once and then dash back, and then keep your guard up. And then we're going to be flinging guys for the rest of the level. Pretty much, we're going to be flinging guys into the walls. So I said I wasn't going to be UT spamming, and I'm not going to be, but it kind of occurred to me over here that I was guillotine spamming, but these guys are so dangerous, and you'll be dead so quickly that you need iframes in this game. So the best way to get iframes is to do that move right there, the guillotine throw. The more guys you kill, the less lag you're going to get. So I had quite a bit of lag over here. And this is just obviously a bloodbath, and it's just very crucial. I can't state how crucial it is to just throw these guys into the walls, even if it's the gray ninjas. I'm letting it connect with whomever I really can. I also like to be in a more compacted area when I'm throwing guys, because your guillotine throw is going to connect with a lot more consistency. So, damn, right there. Really can't do anything to avoid that. I tried to parry it, but I failed. That's just a risk you take. So pretty much anytime I see an IS ninja on the map, I'm doing the guillotine throw, even if I'm grabbing a gray ninja. So you want to stick in this room too, because it's right next to the save point. You could also prepare a charge when you open the door with the lunar staff if you want to. So got a little bit of health back. Haven't used any items, but I have used Nimpo. When I say I haven't used any items, it just means I haven't pressed the D-pad up or down to access the menu. So if you haven't used any items like I haven't, you should have 4 items in your inventory. You should have 2. What are they called? The 2 herb of spiritual lives. You should have that devil way mushroom that we just got right there, and you should also have a grains of spiritual life, and we'll be getting another one of those too. So once you hear the mage, when you're coming up the stairs, you'll hear the mage, and he hovers up in the air. You see his shadow right there? So I like to stay down here because, like I mentioned a moment ago, it's a very compacted area, and my guillotine throw can connect with a lot of guys here. So I didn't take much damage initially, I don't believe. I know the mage always kind of glitches out, and he's hovering on top of the whole scene, but we do need to take that guy out pretty quickly. So staying in this stairwell is a really good opportunity too to throw guys into the walls. Yes, it kind of is cheap in the sense that I'm doing the same thing over and over again, but to survive in these battles, you need iframes. So the best way to ensure that you get invulnerability is to do the guillotine throw, and then once you've delimb the guy by throwing him into the walls, you just press the Y button to quickly dispose of him via the obliteration technique. So that may be the last guy. No, it wasn't. I think there was another guy somewhere around here. Guillotine throw him just for safe measure, and then I get a beheading right there. So that felt good. Now I'm going to go up and get the ID card, and I got an Nimpo drop. It felt even better. So here's the cracked ID card right there. So grab the card key. Now we're going to be going to the next phase of the level. I would advise you to go ahead and save it before you go over here, because you're going to go to the save point, but it's not going to be actually accessible until you slay all of the IS ninjas and the gray ninjas. So what I actually did over here was I equipped the lunar staff and prepared a charge, but it didn't take. So you're also at the risk of getting tagged with incendiary shurikens when you're trying to do a charge. So this works sometimes, but this one it didn't work. As you saw right there, it was a complete failure. But I was not going to use any items over here, I decided, and in fact I didn't this whole level, even up to the boss and defeating the boss, I didn't use any items that I reaped from the level. So you'll be getting 5. There are 5 items, so you should be getting 2 herbs of spiritual life, 2 grains of spiritual life, and 1 devil way mushroom. The second grains of spiritual life is over in that box right there. So here I'm just throwing the guys at the windows. Watch out! There's a couple of archers over here, so you got to watch out. They're either going to be stationary or they're going to run at you, depending on how the battle's playing out. See that archer right over there? So you got to really watch out for that guy, especially when they have as little life as I do. So I was very careful over here, and even that UT didn't take. I guess it served me right for trying to do a UT. But I saw absolutely no reason to use a healing item over here in view of the fact that the save point is right over there. So fortunately I got a counterattack parry right there. Then I got the OT to take him out. And now I'm going to go over to the save point. After I get this box with the grains of spiritual life, I would really implore you to not use any items. It's highly possible to do so, and you get all your life back at these save points. This is a very hard fight coming up. I like to spawn the battle by running vertically up the wall, then coming back down here, and then trying to deal with the mages at the same time is very difficult with these melee ninjas. I think this fight took me about as many tries as the boss. I think this fight's harder than the boss itself. Although the boss fight's tough. And I'm going to be using heavy magic attacks on him, by the way. So there's a UT right there. Needed to take the mage out. The mages are very. Several times I would get all the guys except for one mage, and then he would grab me, and it's just so frustrating. But stick to this method here of just grabbing the guy, throwing them into the walls. And then hit the save point afterwards, visit the store. If you're going to be using a lot of items on the boss, make sure you buy a lot of items at the store to compensate for what you're using on the boss, because the first fight in Chapter 2 is very tough, so you're going to need to strategize. I'm equipping the Lunar Staff because it's the best way to deal with this guy. I upgraded it to level 3, so it's going to be able to take this guy out even quicker. Now, the best way, if you just want to, the best way to deal with this guy is just to throw the Inferno at him. One of the problems here is that if you're trying to kill the lackeys, they take a long time to burn up, so you're running around. Hopefully try not to get tagged with the IS. So about 6 of the Inferno magics will probably almost kill this guy, if not kill him. So that's the best way to do it. So I'm just targeting him. If you want to target the lackeys and then absorb their essence to get an expedited charge, that's your own prerogative. Here he goes into OT status right there. And we cleared the level. I'm going to see you guys in Chapter 2. Here's a scorecard. Thank you for watching the guide. It's going to be a good one, so stay tuned for Chapter 2.